I had a lot of talk, of course, about the homeless in this cold, cold weather. The city, as you heard yesterday, reversed its stance on opening up Moss Park Armory as a 24/7 winter shelter for the homeless. The demand continues to increase for shelter in this cold. Councillor Ana Bailão, chair of the city's Affordable Housing Committee, joins me right now to chat a little bit about this. And it is the never-ending question with how to best take care of our homeless, but it becomes urgent in cases where we have these extreme cold weather days.
Exactly, and that's why we need these temporary answers, because, you know, the armories or the Better Living Center or all these drop-in centers, that's not the answer. We obviously don't want to have people housed this way. The issue is that we need long-term, affordable and transitional housing. We need the healthcare supports. We need the transitional for people to be able to transition to proper housing. We've been having crises like that in this city for many, many years. Many of these advocates and many of us, I've been, since day one that I was elected, has been something that I've been crying about and screaming and yelling about, and it gets to these points.
But we've been talking about it, and we know we need it. In fact, I bet you have plans in place. What do we need to finally put these into action?
Well, we've had decades of governments divesting in housing. We now have started to have governments back into the business of housing. We just had the federal government announcing a national housing strategy. We now need to say, you know what, we actually need to act a lot quicker, and we need to come together as the three orders of government and saying, yep, we've now acknowledged that all of us are back into the business of housing. We've now acknowledged that we have plans. How can we ensure that we speed it up? Because it is more evident more than ever. I mean, the frigid temperatures just bring the issues to the front pages, but the issues have been there for a long time and are there for a long time.
One thing we don't talk a lot about right now, and I have not heard this at all, is mental health as well. There are people who would prefer to stay out in the cold than go into housing. They either can't conform to rules, they have mental health issues with that as well. So that has to go with, hand in hand with housing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the reasons why our shelters is also in the situation that it is that because we don't have that, what is called transitional housing, where you have those healthcare supports, where there's a close connection between the healthcare system and the housing system, they end up staying in shelters for a year, 2 years. And I mean, it's a de facto housing situation. And that is not the optimal situation that we have. We've had recently an announcement from the province of $90 million. Those are being invested. Construction is starting on some of those units, but it's not enough. We need more. We know that 10% of our shelter users use 60% of the nights available. And the reason is because they have not been able to transition into proper housing, because we don't have what it's called that well-integrated transitional housing with the health care, with the supports to make sure that it is a successful transition.
A society has to take care of its most vulnerable.
Absolutely.
And we're not doing a very good job, sadly.
Absolutely.
So we need more help. We need more permanent solutions. We've been talking mainly about temporary solutions. Here's hoping for a permanent solution.
Absolutely.
Sometime soon. All right, thank you very much. In fact, later on today, the mayor is hoping to hear the official word from Ottawa, whether or not they can open up the armory. I can't see them saying no. At least I hope they won't be saying no.
I can't see them saying no.
We needed it like last week. All right, thank you so much. Let's go upstairs. Here's Mel with our top stories.